Welcome back, guys. I'm Billy Mack and welcome to my garage. As promised before, we were going to get into this son of a bitch right here, this POWERGLIDE. I finally got my parts. I gotta do it. I gotta start ripping into it because if I don't do it now, I'm never gonna do it. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm taking off this tail section. I believe that's the direction that I need to go. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I'm gonna do. Let's get to it. Where we're at right now. Now we will start hauling everything apart. Oh dear. All right, so 4 bolts holding on this back section, and this one here has a little tin piece on it. Not quite sure what it's for, but I'm gonna film it because I will probably have to put it back together later, and I need to know where that goes. Okay, so now I'm just gonna loosen up the front pump bolts and go from there. All right, so I pulled out the little clip holding here, pull out the shifting mechanism. We'll clean that all up later down the road, set it over there. All right, the pan is off. Just a little bit of fluid in there. Now we're gonna take off the stock valve body, and I believe it's 1, 2, 3, 4, obviously, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe. Nope. Yeah, we'll play it by ear. Very first time doing this, so if you're watching, please be gentle. All right, so we'll pull this off, and I'll have to get something to pull that spring out, and then continue loosening up these ones, and we'll pull off this. Bear with me, friends. All right, so the stock valve body is off. I'm pulling out the stock servo and spring. We will set that over there. This piece here falls in there. This is your band, and this piece here comes out somewhere. But, I'll have to play around with this one. Get this one out. All right, I'm gonna get that out. Can't do it with one hand. Okay, so 15 mil here, and an Allen key. I don't know if we have to set that later or not. I'll have to do some reading up on that. But that slides this out, and you want this kind of sitting in there like that. And yeah, goodness me. We'll get it. All right, so this is that plate. It goes here. There was another plate here. It fell down, so we'll have to take that out when we pull everything out. So yeah, that it fits in here somehow. You might not think it does, but there, just slide it in sideways like that. All right, learning a little bit more every day. Now I'm gonna flip it around, pull the pump out, and there you have it. The pump is out. This is your, I don't know what that is, your final gear maybe, but hopefully everything just slides right out and does not come apart, because if everything comes apart, I'm going to be a little frightened. So I'm gonna slide this out, and I'm sorry I can't hold the camera at the same time, but this is very tricky for me, and I wanna make sure that I'm setting everything in a nice spot so I'll have an idea where it goes. Okay, so I skipped a couple steps here. I had to take off the speedometer as well as the governor. I'm probably not going to use either one. The speedometer was a bitch to get off. I had to cut. Whoever put it on, it was beat all to hell, pushed on this way, and it wasn't coming off even though I heated it. So now I just loosened up here, and I'll show you. This part here slides right. And then now this part here should come right off, and it should expose the pump. So I'm going to get these two bolts completely out, pull that off, see what the pump looks like. Okay, so back here you can see one here and one there. It's supposed to have I'm supposed to drill holes there, but it looks like the holes are already there. I'm going to make sure that they pass through, but it looks like it's all good in the hood. So that's that. For now, I'm going to leave it at this, how it is, and I got to get a spring compressor for the rear piston, but everything else is out. I'll clean everything else up, make sure that everything is all good in the hood, and we'll go from there. But that's it for tonight for me. But for you guys, I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I did manage to get the rear spring seal or whatever apart, and so the transmission's pretty well all apart. This is kind of what I made, and yep, it's sloppy. It's old flux. Do not judge. What I did is I threw this on the back of the tranny, placed that other part, that other piece on the top like this, and screwed it down to compress the spring, and it worked. But I did order an actual compressor that will be here tomorrow, so whenever I go to put the tranny back together, I can do so. But for now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean the transmission up, get all the parts cleaned and tidied. Definitely gonna paint the shell, and whenever everything gets here, we'll be able to put it back together pretty quick. So now what we have to do, we have to drill 2 holes in here, and I don't know why. I guess more fluid goes through, but it says so in the instructions. So that's what we're gonna do now. All right, so what we have to do first is drill 2 1/4-inch holes here and here. They are pretty close to a 1/4 inch, but not completely. This one here, maybe it is. So let's get started. Okay, as you can see, both holes all the way through. From this side, what we want to do is we want to drill them 3/8, about a 1/2 inch into the housing, not all the way through. What I've done is I've taped off a 1/2 inch, so I'll know when to stop. That's about it. So I'm gonna get drilling this section. All right, so now this is where we drill, here and here, to intersect the 2 holes that we just drilled out. So I'm gonna get doing that. Can't do it with the camera in my hand. And there you go. Holes in each one of those. Holes in the back. Should be good to go. Now I gotta get this all deburred and cleaned up. Okie dokie. So I have everything all cleaned off. That was boring, I didn't show you. I also pulled in the, whatever this is, the kick down. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Either way, I'm not gonna be using it. So basically everything's taken apart. This section here, I do not wanna take apart until I get my new shifter mechanism, because I will not remember how to put everything back together. So I'm gonna leave it like that. Everything else is all cleaned up and ready. I did order new springs and retainer, and a couple other little odds and ends. A servo spring, what else? Oh, and I got myself a tool for compressing those springs, and everything will be here tomorrow. So as you can see, everything's all cleaned out nice and pretty. I will tap out the cooler feeds, because these ones are teeny tiny, and put in new feeds. Then I'll paint the outside casing of the Glide. Okay, so a little fast forward a bit. Just trying the pan out, and this is the finish on it. Tried to get the same texture as the pan, and it's pretty close. It actually looks really nice. It'll go well with the shield. Pretty impressed. Cleaned up really nice. I can't wait to get this and put it back together. So I do have to put it together, and I still have a bunch of parts here. There's some parts coming tomorrow. I think I have everything. I got to get some 1/8 inch to 6 AN or -6 or however you want to say it fittings so we can run some lines. But that's it for tonight. I'll be back tomorrow. Okay, so it's the next day here, and this is the front pump. Why do I have the front pump? I've been reading up, and there is some modifications that needs to happen to the front pump. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to peel the pump apart, and we'll go from there. I'm just going to take these out and pull the casing off. There is a bearing right here. Copper bearing. Place this to the side. Okay, so this is the inside of the pump. This is your pump gears, and this is the other side of the pump. Pretty simple. Now, let's get to modifying. All right, so the first modification on the pump is we're gonna take a 3/16 drill bit, and this hole here, we're gonna drill it all the way through to the other side. It's drilled right straight through. Now we're gonna taper off the end. All right, the ends are tapered off. Now I'm just gonna hit it with some light sandpaper just to make sure that there's no raised edges. Okay, so since these holes are drilled out, now we're gonna drill this bottom hole out. We're not gonna go all the way in, just like 3/8 of an inch maybe. And we're using a 7/64 drill bit. So I'm gonna get going on that one. Okay, so the last one is this hole right here. It's a 1/4 inch drill bit, and you're gonna bring it down till it intercepts this hole right here. And what this is for, I guess, is for your converter to allow fluid to get back there quicker. So I am setting the pump back together. As you can see, I have a few C-clamps here, and I attached them together. What that does is it's gonna put pressure down on the two plates to keep them evenly, I guess, keep them even around. So I tighten these down. There is a tool that you can buy, but I paid like $10 for all these clamps. So a little bit easier, a little bit cheaper, and keeps the two plates together, so now I can bolt them together.